Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise you I will update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and its 2,000 friends on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today, for your consideration, one of the finest dive watches we never discuss. It's the Girard-Perregaux Sea-Hawk II reference 49900 in stainless steel. This was part of a series that bowed in exactly this form as you see it back in 2002. Back in the 2000s, oversized sports watches were all the rage, and not all of them have aged well. So from rage to aged, many have fallen by the wayside, but the Sea-Hawk II looks better than ever in 2018. It's a big watch, 43 millimeters in diameter. You can see that it has an impressive stance lug-to-lug, and that is its defining measurement. As lug-to-lug, this is a 55 millimeter watch. That's big even for a 43, and it's almost on par with the likes of which you'll find on an IWC Big Pilot's watch. It doesn't wear like a Big Pilot though. 13.5 millimeters thick with a generously sloped bezel. You can easily slip this one underneath most cuffs. So a little bit of a dichotomy between the span of the lugs and the thin profile of the watch itself. You get a beautiful bracelet with this. Not necessarily a dive bracelet, and I'll tell you why in a moment, but the actual quality, like the case and the movement, top of the line. Girard-Perregaux making cases, bracelets, clasps, and movements in-house. A well-chosen contrast, polished on the flanks, with a satin finish on the large links down the middle. You can see that there's some tumble home to this bracelet. It actually arcs down and away off to the side. The flanking links beautifully double finished, rounded and arced side to side. So you can see tumble home from the center, arced from end to end. On the underside, big gaps to avoid pinching skin, pulling hair, or trapping wrist heat. Now this is why I don't call this a diving clasp. The watch does have a number of individual removable links that are fixed in place by screws, but there is no dive extension, and it is a friction fit clasp. That's my only reservation. If you were to take this watch into the line of duty and bring this one into an engagement with the forces of Mother Nature outright as a backup dive timer, I would say fit a strap. But the bracelet is of outstanding quality with nicely contoured conforming end links that trace the arc of the case perfectly, and you will note there's a graceful slope to these lugs that would be missing if they were indecently cut short in the interests of fitting a smaller wrist. I'm glad that Girard-Perregaux didn't compromise. It makes for more elegant form. Polished tops, satin flanks, and a deep, rich knurling about the bezel. I'm going to shut up for a minute so you can hear this detent. It's up there with some of the best in the business. It's up there with Doxa, the Panerai Luminor submersible family, and the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Compressor Diving and Navy SEALs. The feel is excellent, and the double finished all-metal bezel is both redoubtable and richly detailed. Polished knurling outboard, a matte finished or blasted finished inboard with relieved polished numerals and indices, and a luminescent pearl that you can line up with the minute hand, the oversized minute hand, for an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. You can see the richness of the dial itself with its sunburst blue center and the all applique indices and tri-Arabics. There will be a loom shot. It will be spectacular. There's a sunburst guilloche cut to the recessed sub-register for the power reserve, which is a nice measure. It's one thing to see that your watch is beating before you dive. It's another thing to know above and beyond all doubt that it's well wound and won't slow down or stop during the dive. The extended index or the extended luminescent insert of the seconds hand has a little bit of a vintage feel to it. It looks very much like the seconds hand on a 70s diver, but the signature of the dial is the recessed date. Quirky placement as a result of the addition of the power reserve module and the off-center crown and crown guard assembly. You have an odd location and a relatively deep setting below the power reserve module, and the walls of that aperture are brushed metal, beautifully tapered and finished with a satin grain. It's actually a gorgeous detail. It seems weird at first glance, but it quickly endears itself to you. Now there is a GP movement inside, GPO 03300, automatic winding, 27 joules, power reserve indicator, hacking seconds, quick set date. It is a thin, fine, high horology movement, befitting the image of Girard-Perregaux, executed entirely in-house. A truly impressive movement inside this 300-meter diver. Now, the crown guard is distinctive. You've seen the like on, for example, Seiko and located at the opposite side of the case, the Bremont Supermarine family. But whereas a Supermarine S500 will feature the crown up here, Seiko and Girard-Perregaux locate around 4 o'clock. What it does is it gives you a massive crown guard protection and shear guard without the danger of digging your wrists. It's also far more protection as the crown comes into proximity with the flared ends of the lugs, so that's a good deal of peace of mind, and it gives the watch a distinctive profile. You can see this distinctive watch, profile and all, and make it yours on the watch box. And we're back with the Girard-Perregaux Sea-Hawk II, the 49900. Ticking away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. You can see where those enormous luminescent hands, bezel pearl, and constant seconds swatches of luminova really pay dividends here. This thing feels as solid as wrist panzer, lights out or lights on. See it by the light of day with boxes, papers, and accessories on the watch box.